Good evening, y'all. It's Fat Tuesday. And it is our first episode of Mental Health Awareness Month. So y'all come on in here, sit down, get yourselves together because it is going to be a conversation that is necessary and needed on tonight. Okay? Tonight, we talking about petty. Petty, but healing. Okay. We are exploring the power of petty victories and self-care. I don't care what y'all say. Sometimes you got to be petty to take care of yourself. All right. All right. And we up in this thing tonight with Moses Forehead. Anisha, the greatness guru, and none other than Doc J up in this thing. What it do, what it do, what it do.
I'm an
What?
Easter bunny. I'm an Easter bunny.
I
I'm an
like the way
Easter
you just.
bunny.
I
I'm
like,
an
I like
Easter
the way you
bunny.
just came at me. I like that. That's cute.
Baby, you came on camera. All I saw was
Right,
forehead.
your forehead was right there.
Oh, good.
No, that was right there, though.
You was
Bubba,
right
your
up in the
forehead.
camera. That was
I
all
don't
we
care.
saw.
Everybody get to see this. Everybody get to see this good skin now. That's all that matters.
All we
Hey,
saw was forehead.
Moses, that's all right. We're in the same boat, man. Hey, we just got a lot on our mind. That's all.
Yes, sir.
So good evening, y'all. How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling?
We good. Yeah, we good.
Today was a day, but
Today was the day. It was.
but it is what it is.
Today was a day.
I'm trying to hear a story about the midget though.
Can we do like our thing first before you be trying to hop into the randomness of it all, okay?
Hey, Montel, what's going on?
Hey, Montel.
Is that Montel? Is that Montel?
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
Montel.
Yeah. So tonight, y'all, like I said, we are talking about petty but healing. And we're gonna talk about what that looks like, what that feels like, and how a lot of times we really can be a lot more petty than we actually are sometimes. So I think a lot of times what we do as far as like our healing journey, we talk about how our healing is supposed to be all beautiful, this and that, and this. But people don't really talk about the fact that healing is a funky bag of ass sometimes. Okay. Healing is raggedy sometimes. It is hurtful. It is a lot of different things. And so when we get to talking about our own healing, it's a booger. So
a green one. It's a green one.
It is. It really is a booger. It can be bothersome. It can be healing makes you question yourself sometimes. It makes you question your sanity. It makes you question a lot of different things when it comes to this thing called life. It can be bothersome. So as we get the tapping into all of this great stuff that we got over here, what are some of the things? So what are some of the things you guys have experienced or found out about your healing journey that you didn't know that was contrary to what a lot of people already say? Because people always talk about it being a beautiful experience, but
First of all, healing is not a beautiful experience.
It's not beautiful at all.
So I just want people to tell the truth about it. Tell the truth. Tell everybody that this is one hell of a ride. One day you're gonna be mad, one day you're gonna be crying, one day you're gonna be happy, another day. This may not even happen this can happen all in the same day. Within the same hour. Stop telling people that healing is a beautiful thing. I mean, once you get so far into it at the beginning of it, you're not gonna want to do it. You don't want to face yourself. You don't want to sit in your shit. You don't want to take accountability for you. Stop telling people like, "Whoa, this is a beautiful journey." You telling a lie.
It's a big one. It's a big
I
one.
don't think it's necessarily a lie.
It's a lie.
It's a lie. I just feel like people leave out. They omit a lot of things when they talk about their healing journeys or just healing in general. People leave out a lot of things. I don't like to necessarily say that they lying, but they leave out a lot of stuff.
I thought omitting the truth. I thought omitting the truth was a lie.
No, not actually.
I thought omitting with the truth was a lie.
No. They didn't omit the full truth. Like they tell you parts of it, but they don't give you the full part.
The truth is the truth. If you omit the truth, it's a lie. It's a lie.
Okay, Moses.
I don't know. It's a lie.
Okay.
Tell the whole story though. But that's my whole thing is tell the whole story.
Right.
Tell that this ain't all peaches and cream, baby. It's really not.
What's up, Fred? Hey, Montel.
And some days you gotta sit in it by yourself.
She said, "Sit in it."
You got to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
You got to sit in it, and that Band-Aid you had to take off. Now you got to dig that infection out.
Oh man, that sounds funky.
Because it is. Because that's really what healing is. It is funky. You got to, because for years or however long you've been putting a Band-Aid on top of it all. Take the Band-Aid off.
Funky, like,
now you got to get the infection out of there. Stop playing with yourself.
Thick, kind, cautious, C. Levette and Shorty Nick over there on Instagram. We are live tonight on Instagram, y'all. I don't even think I did the intro fully, but thank y'all for tuning in to another dope episode of the Fat Girl Chronicles, where we get all up in your business and discuss the topics that matter to us most each and every Tuesday, right here on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitch. Okay. And we can hop back into the conversation now. I introduced everybody. At least I didn't forget that part tonight. Oh, and a shout out to Sarkarigan's Media Group for allowing us to stream this live on their platform over there. So, okay, yeah. Now we can get back into it. I just realized, like, I was really excited to get talking. And I'm like, I didn't even do the intro. I didn't say hello to the peoples and let them know where we was at tonight. So, there we go.
No, but just be honest about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you said, okay, they do tell you once you get so far, it's a good thing. But you didn't tell how you got there, how you had to deal with the extra and all of it to get there. Tell the people how you had to get there, what you had to go through to get there. It's a wonderful thing once you get to it, but the road going to it.
See, I hate when people say, "Man, I want to be like you. I want to be just like. I want to be right where you at." And I'm like, "You sure you ready for that roller coaster? You sure you ready for that one?" I tell people that all the time. I'm like, "Hey, man, write your own story."
And look, Montel said the same thing. It's an emotional roller coaster. Makes you stand back and look at your real self. To me.
Yeah. I mean, it's this dog better not move my. Get out. Hold on.
Fred, we talking about petty but healing, exploring the power of petty victories in self-care.
So is it petty? This is a question. This is a question for the group. Is it petty that if somebody did you wrong, but then you secretly, you didn't do nothing to them, you didn't be petty, but something happened to them and you secretly in the background giggling, sniggling, laughing, or you saying that I'm talking about relationship. Yeah, and you seeing how their life turned out. But had you been with this guy, had you been like Anisha with you, like, you know what I'm saying? Is it petty to think good? Yeah, look where you at.
Yeah, here's the thing. We all do it. You be like, damn, look at that. That's what you
definition of petty.
That's what you get. If you would have did what you were supposed to do, you wouldn't be in a situation that that's what you do. And you really want to say out loud. That's what you get. And your mama.
Yeah.
If you get cheated on, you get played.
What if you cool with the mama?
You know?
That's what you did. That you got exactly what you see. I told you karma was gonna come back around. Oh, Got you. Ring your doorbell.
Bam.
No
There
better
it
for you.
is. There it
No
is.
better for you.
Ain't no more woulda, coulda, shouldas. Can we get to the I mean, I ain't got no little person story, but can I get to my story? Is it not time yet?
It's the fact that he
Because I want to
so
know.
excited. Okay,
I want to know
that
from a
baby is
female
about
so
this
standpoint.
story.
So this did not happen to me. This was back in college, and at the time, I think the first 3 years I was living in, it's a scholarship house. Basically, you get a scholarship, you stay in a house with like 15 boys. It's a big house. So one night, one of my roommates at the house, you all may or may not know who this individual is, but he was dating somebody and they always got into it. And so it was like a Friday night, Saturday night, whatever. Anyway, so we had I think we had some drinks and everything, but they went to go pick up some pizza from Hungry Howie's. We ain't proud of it. We was in college.
Oh my
Yes, Hungry
God, Hungry
Howie's.
Howie's.
Hungry House. We're not proud of that now. But at the time, that's all we could afford.
Okay, what the
$5,
hell is that?
$4.99 specials.
Nigga, I ain't heard. First of all, I ain't heard that name in so long. Did you see the core memory that you just unlocked in my brain when you said that? Okay,
They're all down. I got one 10 minutes from my house, matter of fact.
Oh my God.
So anyway, me and this other girl from another house. There's 3 houses. There's 2 girl houses, 1 boy house. And then so I'm just sitting over there. We waiting for the pizza to get back. We waiting for the Hungry Howie's to come. And you know you got to eat that in like 5 minutes. You can't wait like no hour to eat no Hungry Howie's. You got to eat that right away. So they go get the pizza. Me and the other girl just sitting there watching TV. Then all of a sudden, when they get back, well, I heard her pick up the phone. What? Girl, he did what? And what had happened? Oh, okay. So I'm thinking, oh, okay, whatever. They get back, and this individual comes in, and I'm like, "Hey, man, what? So where's the pizza? I'm withering away. I'm sweltering." And they go, "Nah, man. Hey, man, this chick, man, you wouldn't believe what she did. She took the pizzas that she was holding in her lap and threw them in the back seat." I said, "Oh, okay, so they can like." Put the box because it was hot and she wanted to put the boxes in the back seat. He's like, no, she threw the pizzas in the back seat. And I'm like, in the box? And he said, nah, the pizza's all over my back seat right now. I gotta go out here to clean the cheese and the pepperoni off. So me with my petty self, I said, so we not having pizza tonight?
Doc.
Yeah.
Forget what y'all was arguing about. I want to know where my food at.
So in essence, the only thing that you was worried about, I don't care nothing about what y'all talking about. Where's my pizza?
Doc said,
So what you saying is it's still in the box on the back seat? Because if it's still in the box on the back seat, I can go get it. I can eat it.
Don't worry about it.
I just go out. If it's still in the box, we cool.
I'm good with that.
So which means she literally took these pizzas out this box and threw them on the back seat.
Chucked them. And so for about 5 minutes.
So did she do like this over the seat and just threw
the
pizzas back there? Or she took them out the box
and literally
in the passenger seat. And this is me with my imagination because I was hungry and I'm still pissed. That's why I'm petty because I'm still pissed off about this.
Oh, you still mad
about this? I'm still mad about it. I'm still mad
about this pizza. So you still mad about a cheaper version of Little Caesars?
Basically, this was 23 years ago. I'm still mad about this. And if he hop in these comments, because I told him I was going to tell this story, good. So she took the box and hold on, let me get it. Let me see if I can get it like this. And over the shoulder, in between the passenger and the driver's seat, perfect angle. Boop, Chuck. Boop, Chuck number 2.
Okay, but here's the thing: how big was this pizza? Because it always ain't what size car was this?
No.
You was asking questions. What size car was this that you was able to?
That's a good question.
Open this box and chuck this over this seat.
That's a good question. It was a Toyota Corolla. And I'm talking about them old Corollas too.
That means the thing was mega small. It was small.
I mean, it was like
it was little in there.
Yeah,
it was small.
But she somehow had the right angle,
and she hit it.
I mean,
and
because
right
if you
here,
do
and the
it
pizza
right,
went flying.
Because if you do it right,
was she a big girl?
Right. If
she a
she,
big
she
girl?
said,
She was small, but she had to be a small girl to get that.
It was a flick. It was a flick of the wrist, baby.
That's what I'm about to say. It's the wrist.
It's the flick of the wrist,
not the box.
Not the box. It's the flick of the wrist.
She intentionally knew what she was doing. She intentionally threw that. She said, "You know what? I'm gonna ruin every." I don't know. To this day, I still don't know what they was arguing about. And we talk about this story all the time. Every time he brings something up, I say, "Oh, just like them pizzas," and he knows exactly what I'm talking about.
No, because somebody would have to tell me. So, what exactly are we arguing about?
So if he hop in the comments, he gonna put in there what they was arguing about. But
so this is gonna be the segue to petty. So this is a petty moment.
This is a petty moment.
So a petty moment that's gonna help us heal. So right now, you need to heal about that petty moment.
That is true.
Let's work.
Right, you need to heal because it's been 20
and I
years.
think that's probably why I don't eat Hungry How's today. I just thought about that.
That's probably
that's still
you need to heal, brother. Here's where you start your healing process right now.
Yeah, we're gonna start your healing process right now.
I need to eat.
What's the name of this pizza spot?
22 years ago, Doc.
Hungry Howie's.
Hungry
Howie's. Is it even good pizza?
No.
Hungry Howie's. Okay, I'm gonna say I don't know about it now.
Now,
but I know back in the day it used to be good because they used to serve like calzones and all of that kind of stuff.
They still do.
Yep. Okay, so it used to be good. I haven't had Hungry Howie since I was like, 9th or 10th grade. So
you gotta eat it 5 minutes after it comes out the oven. If you wait for it to get cold and reheat it, it ain't good.
So basically, this is the original Little Caesars we're talking about, because that's how Little Caesars. Whoa.
No, because Little Caesars was out before Hungry Howie's.
Mm-hmm. Hungry Howie's came out after the fact.
Yeah.
Okay, so I do have.
Damn. You got one near you?
No.
Okay.
No, I was about to say not in that area.
Don't go down the path I went
down. They kind of took them away from this area, and the last time I saw one of those, it was a while ago. Actually, I do think they have one here. I don't know if it's still open, but I do believe they had one here when I moved down here. But
basically, if I want it, I got to go to South Carolina and eat it inside the store. I can't even come home with it.
Yeah, nah. It'll be as good as the cardboard that they put it in by the time you get home.
Wow.
So yeah, Doc, baby, it's time for you to heal.
Yeah, we're gonna heal. We're gonna heal about
so one of the things that I kind of paid attention to, or kind of been thinking about as we led up to this episode. First of all, like I said in the beginning, this is our mental health awareness month. May is mental health awareness month, which is why we're talking about self-care and being petty and all those kind of things. But the one thing I want to ask y'all, do you feel like crashing out is a form of healing?
Yeah, sometimes you gotta get it out. No. Sometimes you gotta get it out. But
what do you mean by crashing out?
Crashing out is not gonna.
How far you going with this crashing out?
Yeah, exactly. That's the
crash out hurt people.
But you cannot. You cannot control a crash out. So that's why I say no.
But what do you mean by crash out?
Though.
How can you control a crash out? And why would you call that a crash out?
You can easily control a crash out. Like you can crash out, but not like full throttle crash out. Like you can crash out.
It's not a crash out.
It is. It's levels to the shit. Like
it is. It's levels to this. To Moses, it's levels to a crash out now. Okay, Doc. So you keep saying what is a crash out?
Yeah,
crash out is pretty much when you just
fed up.
When you fed up and you go off and you through with this shit and you just lose your shit. Okay. And that's when you just.
Okay, I got it. All right.
But it's levels to it. I mean, you can crash out and it not be to the extreme of where you're hurting anybody, but you got to get this off you. I got to get this off you. I got to say what I got to say to you. Look, now the way you take it is the way you take it, but I got to get this off. Now it is levels to it.
I've never seen a professional.
It can be extreme, but.
I guess, are you gonna make the situation worse?
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you need to get it off your chest to say, look, this is how I feel, and this is what I'm gonna say. We can keep going after that, but I need to get this off.
But I
And
don't consider that
then
at a
and then
crash
you
out though.
squash it after that. Or is it like, look, and you turn it up like 10 notches, and now they on the defense, and now you back in the night, the situation get worse.
But that's
So
the thing.
I'm saying, like, you crash out, like, regardless of the outcome, like whether these people fuck with you after or not. I'm not saying you hurt nobody, but you literally just, the true definition of I'll knock all of this shit over. And you actually knock all of this shit over. Is that healing? Could that be a part of your healing? Is that you literally just knock all this shit over and then you going on about your merry little way, regardless of if somebody feel a way about it or whatever.
You see, I have to agree with Montel. There's no level to a crash out. I've never seen a good crash out. All crash outs, somebody's going to jail.
No.
Somebody went either you're going to jail, you're wanted for jail, or you need a lawyer.
Well, no, I think it is levels to it because I can crash out and say what I need to say, and I'm gonna put this disclaimer on you. Like, look here, it's something I'm about to say. It's about to get real funky and foul in here.
I feel like
I
that's just cussing somebody out. I feel
that's
like
discussing somebody out.
I feel like
I just need
that
to
is going off or cussing somebody out. When I say
crash
out, there are levels to a crash out. I've seen it. Like, I've seen levels to somebody crashing out. I've crashed out before, and it wasn't to the extreme where I went to jail or did some shit that put me in jail. Right. But I feel like also a lot of times when people talk about crashing out now, they talk about, the extreme shit where somebody done lost their life or they done did some like full on shit that'll end you up in jail. But I just wanted to know if y'all thought it was a healthy part of the healing process and whatnot.
I feel all right. I wouldn't call it a crash out, but I feel like getting it off your chest, it's a part. Yeah. That's part of your healing.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the situation.
Yeah,
it's a situationship. But I don't think. I mean, yeah, I don't.
It's a situationship.
I feel if you get it off your chest, like if it's there's some people, like, for example, this is why I say, like, even crashing out, there's repercussions after a crash out. If I care about you, there's gonna be some repercussions, because if I crash out on you to a point, I think there's no crashing out. It's literally a point of no return, because you're gonna violate the person. Either you're gonna violate them with the words, or you're gonna violate them physically. One way or another.
So look, this is what I did, because I just did this just to see what it was gonna say. So a crash out could be two. And what it says is acting out. This is the newer usage, particularly prevalent online, means losing control, acting impulsively, or doing something stupid or destructive, often due to overwhelming emotions. For example, I'm going to crash out and text him everything I am feeling, or I'm about to crash out and buy that thing I don't need.
That's what I said. Like, so
it's levels.
Crashing out ain't necessarily the end all be all. Like, it ain't like you just went to the fullest extent of losing your shit. Like, I feel like you can do a mini crash out. Like, woo, I lost my shit a little bit. Okay, I'm cool. I'm back. I also feel like it's the moment where you just, I feel like sometimes that's the moment when you snap. Like, you have to go off. You have to get all of this shit off of you, or it's going to feel burdensome if you don't. So then you decide to get all of this stuff up off of you and you let it go. And then whatever is said is said. But anywho, I got a video.
You got a video? Let's see it, girl.
I got a couple. Here we go.
Some people in this world will take from you. They'll drain you.
There we go. Sorry. My bad.
Some people in this world will take from you. They'll drain you of all your resources and energy, and they won't feel bad at all about giving nothing in return. I say it all the time. I'm a kind person. I'm kind hearted. I want to give. I want to teach. I want to learn. I want to receive. And then I want to give back. But I'm not a nice person. I was nice, which is why I am now kind. People can only take what you allow them to have. So here are 5 signs that somebody's being strategic with you when you're being genuine with them. Strategic people will often question your motives when you do something nice. Why are you being so nice? Why are you giving me this? Why are you doing this for me? What's the catch? They see people for what they can get out of them. So their minds don't really compute that some people just give to give. Strategic people won't have personal conversations or deep conversations. The goal isn't for you to get to know them. It's for you to know just enough to trust them. That's the important part. They need you to trust them. They might talk about their childhood or past relationships or things like that, but when you try to get deeper, they'll go ahead and shut it off. You do not give them what they want. When you finally say no, you'll see them try to guilt trip you, make you feel bad for that decision. They might even become intimidating and try to push you into making that decision. They also pester. They might just try to annoy you until you finally give up and say, fine. This is not clear and concise communication and consideration. This is manipulation. Notice characteristic flaws like they lie, cheat, steal, manipulate with everybody else around them. Maybe it hasn't hit you yet. And everybody likes to say, well, people make mistakes. I mean, no one's perfect, and that's true. But one time's a mistake, twice, that's your character. Strategic people are opportunistic. They see an opportunity and they take it. They might want to be around you all the time when you're giving them money or paying for them, getting them into a club, or when they can be around those friends that you have. But when there's no more benefit, when you just want to hang out and there's no more benefit, you'll see that they're sick or unavailable. So you weren't stupid for being nice. You were being nice to a strategic person. Just learn the game, move accordingly, and be kind. Follow me for more life hacks.
I love her.
I think she was strategic when she threw that damn pizza in the back seat, but we gonna digress.
Now we still talking about this pizza.
I told you that the healing needs to start today. It needs to start today.
Yeah, it should have been started.
I'm just not got no Keto
20
Rose
years
just
ago.
looks like the new sheer crush.
So I think this is just my opinion. Like what she was saying about, being genuine and then being strategic. I think part of our healing is that we need to learn, like she said, to not just be nice, but learn to be kind. That's part of the healing because a lot of us are overly nice. A lot of us are nice for no reason. A lot of us are nice to people just because we live in a society who teaches us to be nice at all times, regardless of what it may look like or how it may feel. Like we are taught to be nice instead of being kind because when you're nice, it makes other people feel good. You know what I'm saying? And so I've learned that for me, I used to be nice. I used to be overly nice. I used to be super nice. I used to be so nice. Sometimes it was sickening. Okay. Because, that's what we were taught. And as I've gone through this journey and as I've done a lot of healing and recognizing that no, nice will get you ran over. Nice will get you nice will have you in a situation that you don't want to actually be in. So being nice all the time is not a lot of us have to work on that. Like being nice means being agreeable. Let me look at my notes. Being agreeable or pleasant behavior. It can sometimes be superficial, motivated by a desire or to be liked or avoid conflict. But kind is about genuinely caring for others and taking thoughtful, sometimes difficult actions for their well-being, even if it's not the most pleasant or popular thing to do. A nice person might smile and say you're fine, even when you're clearly upset. A kind person might gently ask what's wrong and offer real support. So
kindness often takes you into like a deeper level with people rather than being nice. Nice, you just agree and take care of it all for them. Well, you being kind, that's gonna take you to a different level with them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a totally different look. Nice or get your feelings hurt for real. You'll find yourself with your feelings hurt all the time because you so nice to people. Kind of put the guard up and be like, oh, okay, well, how you want me to work to get it fixed? Because I'm not gonna fix it for you, but how can we work together so we can figure out a solution so you can get it fixed? That nice, I'm telling you, that nice, ooh, will knock you on your ass, and you'll be like, really? I was just being nice.
Mm-hmm.
So my thing is, like, I kind of agree with everything that I'm not gonna say I agree. I see everybody's point of view, but why can't you just like, I don't know. I think with my healing, with my personal healing, I just have to cut everybody off. I just walk away from certain people because just to be kind and then still be around that person, I don't know.
now, see, we're not saying be no pushover or
Because
be a
that can
max.
make me crash out.
Yeah, we ain't saying be that. We're not saying be that person. We're not saying like you have to be the person where you sit here and truly have where you allow people to manipulate you or do things to you in order for you to be in a space where y'all are cordial. We're not saying that. Because you can easily be cordial with somebody, hey, how you doing, and keep on moving and not really truly give a fuck about them. Or you can speak if you choose to, but you don't also have to. Like, it's people. So a lot of times when I'm petty, it is like passively petty. Or it is really to the point where it's like, I really want to get under your fucking skin. So I've been petty to the point at some where was I at? Oh, I was at a birthday party. And somebody was there that I didn't fuck with, that I didn't like, that I didn't care for. And they kept looking at me. Literally kept looking at me the whole time we there, like trying to get my attention without getting my attention or expecting me to say something to them or look at them. And instead of doing so, like they spoke to my sister and everything. And I was wanting to say, bitch, don't talk to my sister. But you know, my sister grown, so I can't tell her who to talk to or who not to talk to. But instead of as I helped to pass out the cake, I passed out cake to everybody but them.
But look, like Leo, you did that, but I have done it where I walked in and that person was there. And here's the thing: walked up to the group of my people that I'm cool with, spoke and said, "Hey, y'all!" Talk to everybody and turn my whole back. Like, and then she had the nerve to tap me on my shoulder and was like, "Hey," and I'm like,
"Hey for horses, hey for horses."
You ain't put your hands on me, did you?
But here's my thing: if like,
because I'm not, I want to talk to you.
Like, this is what I'm talking about. Like with the, like that right there, that scenario. This is the reason why I said I would crash out, because you have the audacity. It's the audacity for me in all these situations. You know you did this person wrong, and for you to come, you see, the person is trying to be cordial, is trying to be kind.
No, they were being nice.
No, they're being nice at that point.
There's between nice and being kind. Go ahead.
Okay. Just regardless, you're being a person at an event, and you're staying out that other person's way, and the audacity to come interrupt your peace is just diabolical to me.
Is it though?
Is it really though? Because typically, like Moses, I have been in spaces with this person several times, and I just didn't say a word. But this particular time, I was on the petty shit that day.
I understand that,
the door and spoke to everybody, but the fact that you put your finger on me to say, "Hey,"
yeah, but so you don't think that's an audacity level? Like, why did they have to touch you? Like, I went out my way not to be bothered with you, but you felt.
I spoke to everybody with my whole back.
Exactly.
You tapped me.
Exactly. You said you did the whole excuse my back. Like, you showed them I don't fuck with you. And the audacity for you to put your nasty,
and that's somebody still trying to be nice to think that I'm going to be nice.
Exactly.
No, so we're good.
That's what I'm talking about. This is where I feel like I'm gonna crash out. And I'm gonna crash out this generation type of crash out.
I ain't giving you the I'm not giving you the energy because I kept the back and I said to everybody in front of me, did she just touch me? And then kept talking.
Yeah, but that's what.
And then kept talking like she wasn't standing. And eventually, guess what she did?
Walk away.
Walked away.
Yeah, but it's like I feel like people these days always want to test that limit.
I ain't gonna give you. I'm not gonna give you the crash out level because I look at on my end. I got shit to lose. You ain't got nothing to lose. I did what I did.
The definition of crash out. You're not there no more. The point is,
yeah,
you're not there no more.
I've gotten to that point. I wasn't there yet. You know, I wasn't there yet to the point where I could truly fully ignore you. Because I'm pretty sure I told this story on one of the shows. Y'all might not have heard the story, but it was let's see. Do I want to tell it again?
Come on, tell it. You already started.
I don't know it, so tell it.
Okay, so at one point when I was dating, like I don't even know what happened with the guy anymore, but I know that I didn't like what happened. I didn't like how it felt. I didn't like none of that or whatever. And so instead of I can't remember what happened, but I know that the next morning it was cold as fuck here. And I took eggs and wet tissue and put it all over his car.
What the Jesus? Oh God!
Wow.
That was the back in the day move. Because look, I'm not even mad at you because back in the day I have done it. Well, I didn't do the eggs and the tissue paper.
No. Back in the day,
I put the sugar in the gas tank.
Let me tell you something. Hold on.
That's beyond petty.
I am the person that wants to inconvenience you. I want to inconvenience you.
That's not inconveniencing me though.
I just want to inconvenience you because you inconvenience.
I don't even know how he got them eggs and tissue off that
car. I need to know this. Why do lady? Well, I already know. Somebody already told me.
So listen. I'm gonna tell the full story. So I put the eggs and wet tissue on his car. And like he was the dummy though, because he fucked up his car because he got the scraping stuff. He messed up his car because all he had to do was start the car and let it warm up in order for the shit to fall off. But instead of thinking, he got to scraping.
It started scraping.
And all you had to do was let your car warm up because the shit would have fell off anyway. But also, that was when I was like super petty and hadn't been healed and I was angry. And that's the point in my life where I was dealing with a lot of shit. And I think that was my breaking point and my turning point when it came to dating. But it was one of those things where it was like, even my mama was like, you know what? You know what? We're going to go ahead and have you not talk to nobody else. We're going to need you to go and sit down a little bit. But it had gotten to that point because I was being nice. I was being, agreeable, and I was being a people pleaser and all those kind of things. And I feel like I can't even remember the situation between me and him. But I know that it has something to do with those kind of characteristics that I allowed myself to display. And instead of, standing firm or like facing the confrontation as I should have, I was more of being nice or trying to be kind, not even kind, trying to be nice about how I approach certain things instead of just telling people to fuck off. But I said all that to say that when we are nice, that you shouldn't be nice when it's dishonest. So like if you're gonna have to lie, or sugarcoat or like dim your light or dim your energy or your energy, your intelligence or anything about you, if you're gonna have to do any of that, then don't do that. Don't do that. Don't ever do that. Like that's why we always say, that's why people say now, don't be nice, be kind. Being kind is being honest with yourself and others in ways that center care, not comfort. I don't give a fuck about you being comfortable, but I'm gonna let you know this because I care about you. Okay? And then you want to be petty with a purpose. Okay?
What?
Petty with a purpose. If you're gonna be petty in the space of healing and all of that, be petty with a purpose. Okay?
Let me ask my big homie what that is. Let me ask big homie.
Petty can be a tool for releasing suppressed feelings or flipping the script on somebody. So, like a clapback, like I said something about your forehead at the beginning. Like if you would have said something back to me, that would have been you being petty on top of me being petty. I wasn't being petty. I was actually being funny. Because your forehead was like right in the camera. That was exactly how it was when the camera came up. I was being funny because your forehead was right in the camera. But if you would have said something in return or said something, then it could have been petty. So like a clapback, or like the way we set boundaries sometimes, can be petty. Like, all right, I'm done fucking with you. That's it. That's all. And leave it at that. But, sometimes we be letting people get by saying shady, fucked up shit. And when I say shady and fucked up, like me saying something about your forehead wasn't fucked up. It was funny. It wasn't fucked up. But we do let people who we consider our friends say shady shit to us, and then we sit up here and be like, well, damn, that wasn't nice. And then we have all of these thoughts and feelings, and we never let them know that how that made us feel or how that made us like look at ourselves or reflect and those kind of things. So we definitely have to make sure that we're not being nice all the fucking time.
Because you got some people that got those little subliminal messages and they really talking to you.
I hate that.
Like,
I hate that.
And you sitting there like, look like dumbfounded, and everybody else know in the room that they talking to you but you. What you not gonna do? Because here's my thing is, say what you gotta say to me. Because I'm gonna say what I gotta say to you. The same thing I said to you, I'm gonna say it to 12 other different people, and it's gonna be the same thing. Stop picking at people. When I tell people, quit poking the bell. Because when you keep poking that bell, that's when you're gonna make that crash out thing happen. Stop poking the bell. Say what if somebody. I'm at the stage now where I have stopped letting people, and I had this post the other day. Stop tiptoeing around people's feelings while they stomping the yard on yours.
Come on
now. They stomping the yard on your feelings and you tiptoeing around theirs.
Yeah, nah. We both finna be over here crying.
But we both finna stomp the yard. And when I tell you about these Timberlands that I'm about to put on and stomp yours out.
What's
and
up?
That's the thing with people being nice. You're allowing people to stomp the yard on your feelings, but you're not saying nothing back. Stop being not. Sometimes you have to stop being nice to people because now they're clearly taking advantage of you, and you stuck in this position. You say you want to heal yourself, but you can't heal yourself because you still being a people pleaser. You still agreeing to whatever they doing and whatever they saying. No.
Once you get in the bucket, it's gonna take you a long time to come out that bucket.
Yep.
Because I know who you are. What Maya Angelou said. If someone shows you who they are.
I knew you was gonna do the voice.
I cannot with you, Doc.
I knew he was gonna do the voice when he took that hard ass swallow. I knew he was about to do it.
When somebody shows you
say that petty with a purpose,
Purpose
right there.
Believe them.
Yeah, that's petty with a purpose.
That's petty with a purpose.
Yeah.
I had to. I'm hungry. That's why I'm acting stupid right now.
I cannot. I bet you want that. You don't want that pizza though.
Yo,
why
I'm sorry. My bad. I'm trying to help you heal through it.
I was on my healing journey by
see, that was me. That was really me being petty.
Yeah, I know.
What you say, Moses?
Big homie just gave me a whole spiel on being petty with a purpose.
See?
That's crazy.
I told you it's a real thing.
It is.
But so we're gonna talk about why some of these small victories help build self-esteem. Because sometimes, like, as we do certain things, whether it's petty or whatever, sometimes doing those little petty things really do help to benefit you. Or not even necessarily petty, but more so when you stop doing certain things in order for the pleasure of others. Like saying no without nothing else behind it, no explanation. No, I can't do this. Because, you know, sometimes when you are a former people pleaser, you really do have to learn how to say no and that be a full sentence. Mm-hmm. Learning to say no without having to explain stuff behind it, without having to feel a certain like level of hurt or depth of like, because sometimes saying no in our gut is like, oh my God. Like they're gonna be devastated because you said no. A lot of times,
you gonna be devastated.
Yeah,
ain't nothing gonna be wrong with right. They gonna figure it out. That's what I had to learn because I was at the point where if I say no, then they're not gonna be there. And I figured out no is a complete sentence.
Right,
no.
That's what I'm saying.
And like, I don't owe you no explanation as to why I said no.
But a lot of times when we get ready to say, like when we think about saying no to somebody, we think that they're gonna be devastated because we say no. And it's true though. Some people are. Some people have an attitude or are upset or feel away because you tell them no. But also they probably only asked you for the simple fact that they knew that you would be more agreeable or, you know,
they know that you
are adaptable to the situation.
Here's how I feel. I don't be like Maxine Waters.
Always.
Like Maxine Waters said, reclaiming my time, it is my time and I can reclaim it. Do you want to? Nah. You looking for something else? That was the
don't
sentence.
Ever chew like that. My eye almost started twitching.
No.
Started twitching.
Good. Because that crap you sent me the other day almost threw my damn phone. And I had it in my ear too. I'm like, what did she just say? I said, no, she didn't.
So Doc does not like the
hey,
you sticking to
it.
Look, he don't like the
Get away, devil. Get away, devil.
With some fellas about that, they was like, "Oh no,
get away, devil."
That'll get you like.
I sent it to him because I thought that shit was so funny because he was talking about how he hated, and I sent it to him because that tickled me because I was like, "Why do people hate that so much?"
And you know what I hate? The fact that you had to demonstrate it to show people what you couldn't say the little frog noise, the little pig. You had to
I forget what y'all called it.
You have to have
I don't know what that's called.
Pablo said it sounded like a pig, like snorting. I said it sounded like a bunch of frogs singing outside. But no, you actually I can't. you know what? He don't like that sound. What sound, girl? And they do that. I'm like, hey, no, go in the other room.
Look, why he's waving his hands though? Like,
because I don't want that coming near me. I'm trying to get the devil off.
That
No,
is funny.
nope, nope.
But
so
You
I
know what?
got a question though.
I
I
need
got
to
a
get the
question,
Pope back in
y'all.
here.
Check this out. I got a question. So, what is the level of pettiness that can be done to still be in a healing position and not reverting back to where you were?
Get your friend.
That's a good question. Did Rodney say that sounds sexy? Do it again.
Get your friend, Doc.
That sounds sexy. Just like how that pizza sounded when it hit that back seat, huh?
I was about to say, so what a piece at, Rodney. So, well, anyway, what is the level of pettiness that you can go to
that you can still come back from?
That you can still come back from. You understand? Yeah, that's what I mean. That you can still come back from. Because some people do the pettiness and you damn sure can't come back from that.
Yeah.
You can't come back.
I think there's levelness to pettiness.
What's the level of pettiness that you can still bring it back in?
I think there's a level for everybody. Depends on the person.
Yeah, because I would say, like, if you went to the point to do something that would intentionally hurt me by your petty, like, that's not petty. That's not petty. That's hurtful. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think you went out of your way to do something that was harmful and hurtful to me, then we can't come back from that. Because why are you intentionally trying to hurt me or make me feel away or trying to harm me instead of like just saying what it is? I think that's petty too when people don't have conversations. I'm in a space where I've been learning to be more introspective and having conversations with people that I may have avoided previously in my lifetime. Because I used to avoid a lot of conversations, but like I started going back through situations that I was like, okay, yeah, I wasn't my best in this space. I wasn't my best in this conversation. Him and his fucking forehead.
You just keep putting that forehead down there.
But I wasn't my best in those situations. Or where I felt like I could have handled things differently. You know what I'm saying? And so I go back and I let people know, like, I'm not doing this as a point of reconnection. I'm doing it as a point to just be better about how I handle things, or not necessarily holding an unnecessary grudge. Because a lot of times we really do be in fucked up spaces doing fucked up things simply because we're in a fucked up space.
Right. And
so sometimes when you get to the point that you are like, okay, yeah, I wasn't my best at that point in time in my life. So how do I fix it? How do I become better about it? Or how do I switch it up so that I can be better? Because a lot of us really be out here on some fuck shit with the people that, you know, we say that we love, or the people that we say that we care about, and we never go back and fix those things. We never apologize. We a lot of times just try to keep shit moving because we think that's what that because we don't address it, it's just gonna disappear.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Instead of you saying something and getting it, you're gonna walk around and harbor this whole time, and it's gonna lead into something else instead of you just saying like, hey, I pretty much didn't like what you said, did, or whatever the case may be at that point. But now you done held it in, and now you're gonna go back. So I feel like because you hurt my feelings, now I'm really gonna hurt your feelings, but you get to a whole nother level.
Been harboring it that long.
Instead of just saying from the beginning, like, you hurt my feelings. Because I find out if you have the conversation with some people, most people, it's not the intention to hurt you, but that's how you perceived it and that's how you took it in. And they gonna say, well, that's not really what I meant by that. But some folks was like, yeah, I did it and I did it on purpose. But most people are like, that's not what I meant by that. So I apologize for that. So let's work this out. So we not on the level where, hey, later on you do the crash out thing and really hurt somebody instead of just saying you hurt me.
And why Rodney got this picture in here like he playing Major League Baseball?
That was 45 years ago. I still owe him a pizza when I see him. I can't believe that. And please get Doc his pizza because that you and Doc
that thing's hurting that man. That man needs that
Doc is hurting about this pizza.
I feel,
and that's what I was saying.
Because you know what? That was probably Doc's last $10-15.
Right, and he was hungry.
No. It wasn't no 10-15. Them pizzas were not that expensive back then.
Well, it was probably your last though, but still, you was hungry.
Who you telling? And yes, I've held on to that. We talk about it all the time, and I slide it in there too. Like, yeah, man, I can't believe when we went fishing this past weekend, man, I had to throw that fish back. Oh, like so and so threw that pizza in the back seat. I squeeze it in, like he don't know.
Not you.
Wow.
Ways to throw it in the conversation.
Wow.
Trailblazers Radio said, but most folk don't know the difference between petty or hurtful.
That's
and it starts with self-realization.
That's true.
But some people don't know how to hold an adult conversation, and they don't. And I the last couple of days, I've been doing having a lot of conversations with Black men, okay, about mental health awareness, because every year around Mental Health Awareness Month, I see something, I have a conversation and something triggers me, and then there's specifically a group of people who I'm supposed to talk to during Mental Health Awareness Month. I feel like I missed my calling, but anywho, okay. Some of the conversations I've been having have allowed me to see that this is how a lot of men feel when it comes to the conversations that are had between Black men and Black women when it comes to emotions.
Okay.
And people don't know how to have the conversations that are necessary for them to understand one another. So I'm going to do a special edition episode with the people, who kind of gave me some feedback. But it's been real interesting to see their responses and the information that they've been giving so freely. I want to thank all of those who have done it, because it's been like, whoa, like really fucking eye-opening. But not being able to hold a conversation, and then the difference between like the shit that comes out that's hurtful. Because sometimes we really do say some hurtful shit, ladies. And that's the part that a lot of us will not admit. We do say some hurtful shit.
I absolutely know I have.
And look, I could take account. I'm like you, Ayla. I absolutely know I have said some real stuff to some people, and you be like, "Damn, did you say that for real out loud?"
I think since I've been in therapy, I'm very mindful of how my words, how I use my words. I feel like I've always been that way, but also when I want you to know that I don't give a fuck, my words are definitely going to...
totally different. They totally different.
My words are definitely going to reflect
they different, because I've learned the difference between, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Mm-hmm. And I've always been that person where when it comes out, it's like, boom, that's knocked somebody out. So now I'm like, wait, before you say it.
That's why sometimes I tell
another way to say it
for me, because I don't know how to say it.
Oh yeah, I definitely got them phone calls.
Wait, can I ask y'all a question? Yeah. Why do y'all take? I would like to know from a man point of view. Like, why do women?
Ayla, shut up.
I like to know why women take it to the extreme. Like, even with some men that don't personally Like,
what do you mean? Like, you mean like when someone is expressing an emotion or a vulnerability, and then we take it to the extreme type thing?
Yeah.
I think for some women, it's a trigger for them, right? And it could be a trigger in the tone. It could be a trigger in what's said. And then you also have women who have never really experienced a man being able to be vulnerable. Mm-hmm. So when a man is being vulnerable, they perceive it in a space where maybe a lot of the men around them were like, that's not manly to do, right, or manly to be. So when you're expressing an emotion to a woman who has never dealt with an emotionally intelligent man, it's really hard for them to communicate effectively. And it's not an excuse, right? Because ultimately, as a woman, if I'm being open and I'm being vulnerable in a space, I will want to be heard and understood. And a lot of times women don't necessarily, some women, I'm not going to say all, but there are women who don't put themselves in that mirroring perspective where they'll say, okay, this man is opening up to me. He's expressing something to me that may be hard for him to do and that I've never experienced another man doing. So instead of asking questions or trying to hold space, now instead of you perceiving it as he's opening up and he's being vulnerable, you perceive it as he's attacking or he's saying something negative to you or about you.
Or he's being soft or
he's being a punk,
sassy or whatever.
You're calling him sassy or a punk at that point.
At that
you
point,
don't know how to take it in.
But then the crazy thing is, at the same time, you still want to be with someone, or you want to have a guy that is telling you how they feel. Tell me how you feel, but then he tell you how you feel. Oh, you be,
or you use it as a weapon. Like you use
right, and then you take what he said to you and throw it back up in his face.
Yeah,
later on in an argument. Now y'all done got to an argument, and now you didn't throw up everything that he didn't share to you about everything that has happened to him, and you didn't throw it back up in his face. And that's because society and the world has taught us, and that's us in our skin color, that hey, men don't do that. Lie, you don't cry, you don't be soft, woman. You don't do that. You don't tell how you feel. You got to buck up and be a man, and you don't know how to do it because that's what you've been taught. And you want this hard nigga that's knocking you upside your head, that's saying all kinds of ridiculous stuff, instead of him just saying like, hey, what you doing? I'm not liking that right now.
It's doing something to my central nervous.
It's doing something to me. And this is how I'm experiencing you. Yes, and we don't want to take the experience of you to others. To you who think you're doing something right, but to them it's not coming off like that. Like, wait, hold on. The way I'm experiencing you, not correct me if I'm wrong, but this is how I'm experiencing you. And then we kick their feelings off to the side and like, that's not what I was doing. Hold on. But that's their experience.
That's their experience. Exactly.
Step back a minute and listen to what they're saying, because again, like I said before, 9 out of 10, you didn't mean to do it that way, but that's the way that they experienced you. So you got to fall back a minute and check yourself like, wait.
And I agree with that. I think a lot of people would we did
the same thing, Leo.
I think communication with the male and female would be so much better if exactly what you just said, Anisha, is, I'm sorry, my I'm getting stuck. Would be a lot better if people sat back and said, hey, this is how I'm experiencing what you're saying. This is how I'm perceiving it to be. And because I'm perceiving it that way, it's making me feel a way. And then once somebody says that, then they hear what you're saying and they say, okay, well, this is what I initially meant to say. This is how you're experiencing it isn't what I'm trying to say. And then it's like an understanding. It's a give and take of understanding that what I'm saying is being conveyed a certain kind of way or perceived a certain kind of way. And I want to be able to communicate with you effectively enough so that you would understand and I will understand. And then to take accountability and say, okay, let's figure out a way that we can communicate that works for us, So then moving forward, we won't keep having these instances where we're bumping heads. And I think that's a lot of times where a lot of relationships fail in general when it comes to male and female relations, is because you got the give and take, the one that's given and the one that's taken, but no one is trying to understand each other. And you're always trying to create a space where I want you to just understand me, but I don't have to understand you.
Well, somebody always
that's where the idea of effective communication comes in.
Right.
That's where using I statements come in. That's where using those things where if we're going to communicate, we got to understand how we both communicate. But also that's part of the bigger issue of the way we quote unquote date these days, is that people don't take the time to have those pertinent conversations in order to understand each other, so that as we move forward or as we start to experience more of each other, okay, well, I remember you saying that this is how you handle this, or this is how you deal with these things. That's like a person who goes off the grid when they get shitty, or if they're in a fucked up mood, they just stop talking to everybody. And if I know that from the beginning, I know that if I don't hear from you, or that it's been a day or two and you just been in a shitty mood, okay, well, I ain't heard from him because he in a shitty mood. You know what I'm saying? Instead of it being, well, I ain't heard from you in 2 days, well, I was in a shitty mood, well, what the fuck they got to do? And it'll be a back and forth because I didn't know that's how you operated. Because I didn't know that when you in a shitty mood, depending on, no matter how long the shitty mood it actually is, like
that's why you didn't went silent,
mood, and which is why I haven't heard from you or talked to you. But the other part that we talk about a lot on here, or even on After Dark, is that we skip those conversations so much because a lot of what people are doing now is rushing to spend money, rushing to have sex, rushing to do all of the other things that aren't important because you don't even know this motherfucker. Like, you don't even know this person, but you over here hunching on them, and you ain't had no real conversations with them.
You ain't had no real conversation.
You don't have no understanding of if they've been in therapy, if they what all the things that come with this person. And so now you done hunched on them, and now y'all over here sharing demons.
Yep.
Now y'all over here sharing each other. Demons, and you don't even know what you're dealing with because you didn't have a conversation with this person. And also because you didn't trust your own intuition when your body was telling you, don't do it. Because a lot of us overlook that feeling where we feel like we're doing this around somebody. That's your body telling you that I'm not comfortable here. It's some shit over up in here that I'm not comfortable with, and we don't listen to it because we have not. A lot of us have not learned to trust ourselves anymore when it comes to those kind of things.
And then you're having conversations where you're listening to respond and not listening to what's being said.
Yeah.
But then sometimes it's okay for you to say, I heard you, but give me a minute to respond to it. Can we come back to this like maybe in a couple of hours or tomorrow? Because at that point, your response to it may be hurtful instead of you just taking it in and stepping back for a minute and be like, wait, let me digest this and come back the right way to say, okay, I see where I can take my accountability in this, but let me also explain how I feel about it to you, how I feel about you respond to it as well. So it's a matter of nobody wants to have a conversation anymore. Everybody want to get to the get down, and we don't want to tell nobody how we feel because we scared that somebody else. We scared that you're gonna be mad and you ain't gonna deal with us no more. At the end of the day, I would rather be by myself than not be with somebody that we can't even have a communication as to like you come to me and say, hey, this is how I feel about this. And I say back, okay, well, this is how I didn't mean it to come across that way. Let's do this together. Let's not be so combative. And look, we as Black women, we will knock a Black man on his ass for the little simple stuff. You took the garbage out the garbage can and set it at the door and say, "Hey, can you take the garbage out when you leave to go to work?" He forgot that bag. You didn't call this man on his job to say, "You left that garbage bag out the door." You got to go out that same damn door.
Just take the garbage out, man.
Same garbage can.
Just take the garbage out.
And you could have just took the damn garbage can. And here's the thing.
No,
and later on, when you get home, I'm gonna be like, "Hey, babe, you forgot to take the garbage out." And he'll be like, "Oh, damn, I was rushing this morning." But you that same with that woman that's gonna call him 92 times at work and mess up his whole day. And now when he get home, he didn't sit in the damn garage or out. He didn't set a block away from the house for an hour because he don't even want to come in the house and talk to you.
How you know I didn't get written up yesterday, and I'm dealing with that.
Yeah. And there's a difference between being argumentative and being understanding, right? So even if that's a situation where maybe that happens often, where where I gotta always take the garbage out, and so now I'm agitated because how many times I got to keep telling you to please take this garbage out and you keep forgetting it, because you know I'm gonna do it. Because that becomes a dynamic, right? Where it's like, well, shoot, I know you're going to do it anyway. I'm just going to do it. You're going to fuss at me about it, but you're going to do it. And then blah, 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 blah. So at some point, like you said, the effective communication comes in. Like when I ask you to do something, because I know that you are walking out before me, this garbage stinks, and I just feel like you don't care, because what it ends up coming off as is you don't care about me or this household. So you just continue, because now as women, we end up internalizing and taking that stuff like it's a personal attack. And then therefore, because we take it as a personal attack, now this is when you getting called at work and getting cursed out. Now you got the ones that just do it automatically. Because whatever drama, whatever, and they're probably used to being in a household where the people argued all the time. But I think
I've just been too fucking mature, because I've always like tried to have those conversations. I feel like the older I get, the harder it is to have those conversations. When I was in a relationship in my 20s, those were the conversations. Either I've been too mature for too long, or that was a really mature ass relationship, because we would literally sit down and have those conversations and then talk about those things and say, okay, well, this is not this, and this is this, and this is that, and da 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 da. And so even like before we moved in together, it was like, okay, well, these are my rules. And it wasn't even necessarily rules, like these are things that I would prefer us not to do. And it was, okay, so we both live in this house. Ain't no going to sleep on the couch. Yes. I don't care if you mad or not. I'm not going to sleep on the couch, and neither are you. Aye, Captain. You know what I'm saying? Because
my thing was there was no going to sleep angry.
Yeah, that too. But you know what I'm saying? Even if we mad, it's just like, okay, well, if you got an attitude, turn your motherfucking ass over and just have your attitude over there.
Exactly. Man over here, we cool.
Ain't nobody finna be not in this bed at night. And so it was just things like that, like those kind of conversations, and setting your household up for certain things. You gotta have those conversations. And I feel like the older we get, the less people want to have those pertinent conversations, and everybody want to talk about hunching and all that other kind of stuff. Boo, y'all boring. I want to go do fun shit at the grocery store. Random shit. Like, y'all want to sit up here and hunch on me. Y'all don't even know what I like to do for fun.
And y'all hunching and ain't even satisfying the hunch.
Right, and the hunching ain't even good. And you said it ain't even good.
That part too. But it's like,
and then
I'm like, Leo, I just want to do random shit and just run up and down the grocery store aisles. He's like, what the hell is wrong with you? None.
Why can't we go to motherfucking Walmart and ride the bikes up and down the aisles just cause? But anywho,
play dodgeball with them big old balls that they have there.
Right.
For real. Like, y'all
Stand in
really
the
be
middle
out
of the
trying
alley,
to
hula
hunch
hooping.
and don't even like having fun with that person. Like, I don't even know if I like you yet.
You don't even know if you like that person and you hunching.
Because that's the first topic. That's the first topic of conversation with people. Like, when we gonna hunch or send me a picture. Send you a picture of what, Negro?
I'm finna start sending moose knuckles, like
You
real
should.
moose knuckles.
You should. And watermelons.
Right.
I got a picture of an elephant titties. I'm finna start sending that when dudes ask me for pictures. You finna get these elephant titties. But Trailblazers Radio says some black men and women don't know how to respect each other, and it starts with that first.
Mm-hmm.
They also followed up with saying expressing emotions as a man is never soft.
Never.
But when we do let our guard down and share our hearts, we get weaponized emotion in return. Yep. Weaponized emotions are deadly. Absolutely. There has to be a truly open and honest dialogue and not a monologue. So, fellas, let's ask y'all. Like, y'all tell us y'all points of view when it comes to those spaces of communication, and like Ayla said, with the trash and all of that other kind of stuff. Y'all tell us what that looks like, and then we're gonna go back to the petty and healing and all of that other kind of stuff. Because I said I will put the trash back in the trash can if you left it at the door. Put that shit back in the trash.
You know, I look at it like this.
Doing that.
I look at it like this: like you're an employee, right? You at work, you do good every day. You might get overlooked. Your boss ain't gonna say, "Hey, you're doing your job, good job." But as soon as you do that one thing, hey, step in my office right quick.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it feels. Mm-hmm. I'm working. I pay the bills. Don't nobody got to worry about food in the refrigerator. Lights are on. We don't have no candles around here. Water running. Grass get cut. But like you said, oh, did you not see that trash? Well, the thing is, my work fine. I'm having good. I have 5 presentations this week. It's like I said, going back to that, you're the employee who's always doing good where your boss doesn't recognize you're good. But as soon as you do the one thing, hey, Doc, you was late this morning by about 10 minutes. Yeah, but I stayed an hour yesterday.
Come on
so,
now.
So, oh, you know what? I did forget to take the trash out. But yet, the reason I was trying to rush was because it's Mother's Day this weekend. I was trying to hurry up and get to the grocery store so I can knock this little thing out the way and get you your gift for Sunday. Since you really want to know why I didn't take the trash out.
Right.
And now, is that me being petty? I ain't saying that happened to me, but I get it. The thing is, you gotta, I was convincing though, right? But no, but the thing is, there's always something.
That shit sounded fresh as hell.
Right. like it just happened today.
This morning.
It happened today.
Hey, I work from home today, but the point is like,
and I bet you that garbage got taken out too.
That's garbage don't go out till Friday. But the point is, like Trailblazer said, you got to have that conversation, and the conversation has to be a dialogue, not a monologue, not a chastising. Not you got to have that back and forth. Hey, even if it's, I don't know if you saw the trash by the door. Yeah, I saw the trash. I walked by it. But it could start off with, hey, how's work? Is it busy today? What's going on? And that's when you have the I've been under pressure. I got to get here because I'm working on this project. Right. And, my mind just ain't been in the right space. That's why I've been sleeping on the couch. I know what you said, Leo, but be quiet. Right. That's why I've been sleeping on the couch because I'm just so out of it right now. I don't want to pass that negativity off on you. Or that's when the conversation comes in and having that.
And that's where Doc right there, Doc. by you starting the conversation out, because you finna call and fuss about the trash, but then you start off with, hey, how you doing? How your day going? And he hit you back with all this going on.
What's
that
going
will
on?
make me and most real understanding women be like,
Hey,
I bet you
hey,
better
look,
about this
Anisha,
garbage.
you running down the steps with that trash.
Right. I bet you better say nothing to him about this garbage and get off this phone and be like, hey, okay, I was just calling to check on you. I don't want to throw this up there, but then you want to hit him with the then you were like, you know what? I get you. So now I understand, because my rebuttal would be, okay, now I understand why you didn't take the garbage out today. Hey, but it's cool. I already took it out. It's cool. No worries. Hey, what time you gonna be home from work so I can make sure this space is cool when you get in this house, because you're all over the place now.
That's what I was just. That's what I was
thing,
about to say.
My thing is, why isn't that always a primary? Like, because men sometimes no, I'm not gonna say sometimes. Real, like how you said, Anisha, real women, but real men, we think of like, we actually try to make sure that y'all spaces, y'all are taken care of. Why we are never thought of in that aspect as well.
I wouldn't say never. Yeah. But
why isn't that? Why isn't a priority?
What I would say is,
Moses, you put definites on shit. Like,
you put definites,
like,
yeah,
don't nobody do that.
Like,
okay, I'm just okay. My apologies. My apologies.
Yeah, so that's
why y'all don't.
Why y'all don't never do?
Okay. I see y'all both doing it. Y'all being petty.
But here's the thing: what is going to make it? What makes it a little bit extra special is because he explained to me what is going on, but I already saw it in his face. So now in the back of my mind, like, hey, something ain't going on. Let me check. Hey, what's going on with you? You all right? So now that he's explained everything to me, I'm taking a step beyond and going beyond what I already do to make sure he's straight when he come home, because he got all this going on in here, because that outside world, they knocked him on his ass. But when he come in here, it's totally different. So
but that's what he's saying, though.
But that's what I'm saying.
What he's saying is, in his experience, that hasn't been the case of even just checking in the first place and seeing how I'm checking in on his mental in the first place and seeing how his mental is going or how his day is going. In order for him to even get into that realm of that conversation. And I think honestly, it has a lot to do with the kind of people that we choose to entertain in our space, right? So if we're choosing someone who doesn't necessarily do those type of things, and we're hoping and expecting or hoping for the potential of them to do it because we see that they possibly have it in them to do it, because maybe they do it with other people but they don't do it with us. And I'm using us in a space because that can go both ways. Like what you're saying can go both ways, because there's women who don't necessarily experience men who pay attention to the stresses and the things and the frustrations and stuff that they have going on as well. So this is an interchangeable thing. And I think oftentimes it has to do with the type of people that we choose to entertain and have a relation with. It's just like Leo was saying earlier, we sitting over there hunching, and you want to hunch on me and I'm hunching on you. We
know everything about each other when it comes to hunting, but
when it comes to that part,
this person, we don't even know your favorite dessert for your birthday.
Exactly. Yeah. We don't even know. We don't even know what your favorite color is, or we don't know nothing really about you that you like to eat or nothing, because
we don't even know if your mama was ever a side chick.
Exactly. Because because that's a different type of conversation right there.
Yeah.
But we hunching, and we don't know nothing about you, and we don't know nothing about, hey, what do you like? What makes you happy? And it doesn't have to cost a damn thing. You can simply just say, hey, just check on me every now and then to make sure I'm cool.
We don't even know your last name.
Hello.
Okay.
You over there with a nickname.
My name is not Leo getting hit from the back Jenkins. That is not my name.
I ain't gonna lie. Back in my heyday, back in college, I had one. I still don't know her name to this day. She had a nickname.
Listen, I think we've all been there.
We've all been there where we really didn't know their name.
Growth, growth is a different thing. And so I think we've all been there. I think we've had those moments. I think we've all been victims to that shit, or we've been a part of just not truly giving a fuck. or just being reckless with ourselves in those given day and time. But the older we get, we shouldn't still be having conversations where we're not having conversations.
Right.
But just to kind of piggyback on what you were saying, Doc, is that's where being intentional about having a routine with each other comes in.
Yep.
Because I know coming in at the end of the day, depending on who get home first, if I get home first, okay, I'm finna go in here and I'm gonna decompress until a certain amount of time, and then that way I'm already decompressed. I can start on something. I can start dinner. I can do whatever I need to do, get the house clean, whatever. So that way when you get home, you can decompress and then take over wherever you see fit, or do nothing if you see fit. But and then that gives us the opportunity to eat dinner together. That's why eating dinner together was so important, because that gives you the space to check in with each other. That gives you the space to understand, oh, that's why this nigga been sleeping on the couch all week, because he didn't want to fuck with my sleep, because he been over here coming to bed or going to bed at 3-4 o'clock in the morning. He ain't trying to fuck with my
like
sleep.
this at 2 o'clock in the morning, and you had to go to another room.
I was about to do it, but I chose.
No, you better not.
I
mean, you're right. You gotta have
now I see what Leo's talking about, and I said it too. Like in the relationship, you have to have some type of routine where she walk in the door, he walk in the door, and you like, and you just say, "Hey, you all right?" And at that point, don't keep rah with him when he says, "Give me a minute. Today was a day. Just give me a minute." Let him or her go get this off, and I promise you they're going to have a conversation. But don't start with that rah. What you mean? Give you a minute? What's wrong with you?
Yep. See, there you go.
There you go.
Already.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Cause like those few moments when you come into the house, like I'm not finna talk to you. You want something to drink? Oh, okay, well, all right. Because that's it. Like, I feel like you should not bombard no motherfucking body as soon as they walk in the door. Like, as soon as I come in, I don't care what, even if it's a kid, don't bombard a motherfucking kid when they come in the door neither.
I think it's healthy to. I think it's healthy to still speak, right?
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. But I'm saying,
don't start with that already. No.
Yeah. Because I'm silly. Because I'm silly. You come through the door, I'm like, hey baby, hi. You know, I might do something silly. I might do something, you know. You may walk in the door and I'm just twerking for no reason.
Exactly. Like
just to be stupid. You know what I mean? So
yeah. But also that goes into knowing your partner, knowing who you're with, knowing how you are about this person, and especially if y'all been together long enough,
right?
Like if I know you're home, like you coming in the door, I'm gonna be happy that you're home. So I want to make sure that you know that I'm happy that you're home.
No matter how bad my day is.
Listen, it ain't a whole lot of black men that's walking back home most of these days. You know what I'm saying? So that's one part. But also, come on in, sit down, blah, 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 decompress. You know, you want some. And then a lot of times we have to pay attention to each other, knowing how this person operates, their routines. Like if your person come home every day at 5:30, they take off their shoes, they sit on the couch, they scroll on the phone, they drink a beer. If you know that's how they operate, when they get in the house, the beer should be cold.
Baby, the little beer mug should be in the freezer. That beer mug should be in the freezer.
That too.
Let them do their thing.
You know what?
There are so many things that we miss out on because we don't pay attention.
I'm going to
have a cigar ready for them if they smoke.
You know what? I don't even need no mug. I'm gonna do you a favor. That way, ain't nobody gotta wash it later. Just give me the bottle. bottle.
Right.
Just go and open it for me, baby.
Just go and open it for him and just hand it to him like, "Hey, babe, how you doing?" And hand it to him and walk away and go on where you going.
I do that in a restaurant. Hey,
listen,
you want
Mama said she needs 30 minutes. Baby, sometimes I sit there until it's like time to go to bed because it's been a week. But I think just in general, we got to be mindful, and we have to do a lot better about how we care for each other and how we tend to each other overall, because what we don't do a lot of is give care for one another. We do a lot about we don't give each other we don't give each other the space to allow each other to get comfortable with expressing what they need from us. And so we go missing those vital points in what our people need in order for them to be replenished, or what they need in order to regroup or decompress or gather themselves. Like, but also knowing somebody's routine is important, because I'm learning to create a routine for myself, because that's important for me. Like having my own routine when I come home or get off or whatever. Because everybody should have something that they do in the evening that helps them to
decompress,
disconnect from the world. Yeah, sometimes I sit up here and I scroll. Sometimes I come in and I play my records. Like sometimes I literally come in, I keep all the lights off and I play a record. I got my I have my Alexa, and so sometimes every day at 5:30 it plays a specific playlist. So by the time I get home or come in the house, if I'm not already here before 5:30, it's music already playing. It is already setting the scene for my house when I get in here, because then that way I can just sit down.
I can't wait to get my Alexa so I can start doing that in my new place.
Yeah, and if I'm not in the mood for all of that, if I'm not in the mood for that playlist and I want to hear something different, something more relaxing that I can, I usually play my albums, or I drink a cup of tea, or I just sit here and do nothing and rub my feet on the damn carpet because it's been a long day. But we do have to be mindful of how we decompress.
You need that
and then making sure that our healing is intentional.
Yeah.
Even as we are on our individual healing journeys, we have to check in with our partners to make sure where they are on that healing journey, because we need to make sure we're still in alignment with each other.
In alignment, and that we're respecting each other's energy, each other's space, and actually
understanding the growth that's taking place in that healing. Yeah,
you should definitely get to the point where both people are understanding that they're there. Like you still have to show up. You get what I'm saying? Like, despite if you're building something, you're creating something, the foundation of it is showing up. You know what I mean? And to what it was a question that was asked about.
Oh yeah, I was gonna get to it.
Okay.
Should you have to consider your partner?
I was talking about the other one. It was another one up there about women creating safe spaces.
Oh, I definitely want to tap on that one. That's why I didn't. I'm gonna go back to that one.
Okay.
But this one says, should you have to consider your partner in your decompression, or should your partner just respect it? The answer is both.
Both. You consider them, and then they also have to respect it, because just like I'm considering you in my decompression, and I'm asking you to respect it, and I'm going to respect your decompression and let you do it. You got to give them the space. You have to give each other the space to decompress, because the outside world is knocking you on your ass every day when you come home. If you can't get no peace at the house, and it's like I said before, it's some people, men and women, that will come because the chaos in the house. I just left the chaos from the job. Now it's the chaos in the house. Now I didn't sit in the damn driveway for 2 hours
because it's chaos.
I ain't even went in the house because I don't even want to deal with what's gonna go on in the house.
And there's a difference between decompressing and shutting out.
Right. There's a total difference. There's a total difference between the two.
There's a major difference between the two, and it's very important that both people know the difference, right? And it goes back to what we were saying earlier about saying, hey, when you do this, this is how this makes me feel.
Right.
So if you are decompressing and you're sitting in the car, right? And I know that's what you do. You sit in the car for about 30 minutes because you know what I'm saying, watching a podcast or listening to music or playing a video game or whatever, you know what I mean? It's like, all right, like I see you out there. I'm letting you know dinner ready. Right. So whenever you come in, because I'm acknowledging the fact that I know that you need some time. Right. And then on top of that, I'm still letting you know that I'm here.
And I'm still holding space for you.
And I'm still holding space for you.
And I'm in preparation of your arrival once you're done decompressing.
Once you're done decompressing.
And then sometimes we as women have to think about it too. It's not always where they want us to fix something. They just want us to listen. Just listen, because it's the nurture inside of us and we always want to fix it.
Absolutely. I know I always be trying to fix it. Like, what can I
do? And that's a me thing.
Oh, we're gonna talk about that.
Because I always just want to fix the stuff. And he didn't ask you to fix it. Just want you to listen. Just listen.
Because that's one of the questions that I asked in my line of questions in regards to like having the conversations with Black men, and that was one of the questions. But we're gonna talk about that when we do that special edition episode. But the other question was, yeah, we can ask this question. Ladies, do y'all think Black women in general create safe spaces for Black men?
Not all the time, no.
I don't think.
And I'm just being dead ass serious. No, they don't. Not the right ones. No.
I think there are some women that do.
And there's some women that don't.
And sometimes it just depends, because you have women that do create safe spaces for you, but that's because 9 times out of 10, they want something from you. I'm not going to say 9 times out of 10, but you have a portion of women who create safe spaces because they want something from you, right? Maybe they see the type of person you are, the type of character you have, your money, whatever the case may be. So now they're creating this false sense of safe space, which then you end up in a situation, right, with somebody, and then you figure out like, this ain't what that is, because you can't only lie for so long. But then also you have the women who do create safe spaces, like, hey, if this is what you need or what you want, I'm willing to listen, I'm willing to be there, I'm willing to be the ear that you need, or just the if you want to just lay there.
That's how usually it starts, though.
I think it can always stay there. I don't think it can never not stay in that space, but I think it just depends on if both people are continuously showing up.
Yeah, it's just like, my thing is, I feel like people at some point, I don't know. I personally don't know. That's why I just usually just kind of, I'm learning certain things now. These are certain things I'm learning myself on how to deal with people, like how to be kind and nice and all this other nonsense. Because me personally, unlike what my therapist told me, he was like, yeah, you starting to lose a little. My humanity side is starting to just die out. Period.
It's like a patience thing, you think, for you,
or is it all of it that you just like? What I think I hear you say is that your heart is hardened.
Yeah,
to make sense of it. Like I take everybody one step at a time.
Right.
It's just
your heart is hardened.
Yeah, it's just one step at a time. If I trust you, I trust you. Like, there's certain things, like I said, there's people that I know that I don't have to worry about, and those people stayed right where they're at. And then there's other people I just be looking at them like, I get back to you. And if I tell you I get back to you, I'm not getting back to you.
Yeah.
So this is the thing with that. Make sure I use my words. I think a lot of times with men, their experiences, trying to be mindful of how I say things.
We ain't sensitive on here. Go on, say it.
Yeah,
so one of the things that I have recognized when it comes to men and how they operate in certain spaces is because they have not yet healed from the previous experience.
Mm-hmm.
And so then they connect to someone who does things in a similar manner of the previous experience. And so then it is prolonging that hurt that could have been severed or started to heal had they not attached themselves to someone similar or something similar to the previous situation. A lot of times, and this is men and women, and I say it all the time, people know how to operate in a familiar hell more than they do in a unfamiliar heaven.
Mm-hmm.
People, if it's comfortable, if it's peaceful, if it's everything that you need, people will turn that into chaos.
Yep.
They will sabotage the peace,
They will take advantage of it.
Everything about it, because it does not have any level of dysfunction. It does not have any arguing, any ain't nobody manipulating nobody, ain't nobody stealing, y'all ain't over here fighting, arguing, and cutting and stabbing each other. So now you don't know how to operate. I don't know, and then so because you don't know how to operate it in something that is smooth sailing, you gonna go dig some potholes your motherfucking self. Cause I don't like this shit. I don't like smooth sailing. I'm gonna put a couple potholes in the ground because I don't like
it.
Because you're gonna go sabotage yourself and sabotage everything that's going on because you look used to the toxic. And I want to
but honestly, I am going to agree with you on Leo. Yeah, that is true.
People don't I think a lot of times do not know how to operate outside of what they're familiar with or used to. And kind of going back to the video that of Keita Rose said that, like, why you trying to be nice to me? Why you want to love on me? Sometimes that is that's a defense mechanism because so many people are not used to genuine love or genuine kindness or genuine care.
Yeah, and they'll shut it out or take advantage of it for as long as they can.
You gotta understand that too.
And then they can't get and they're never going to be comfortable in that unfamiliar heaven because they in the back of their head is like, it's gonna be something that's gonna trigger this off, and I just need to get back into this chaos. Let me but like I said, I'm just riding it out and finding out that this person genuinely loves you, cares about you, and actually wants to know what's going on with your want, needs, mind, mental state, and all of that. You gotta go back and to sit yourself in the midst of this BS and this chaos and all this noise instead of just getting somewhere where it's quiet.
Because quiet makes you sit with yourself and hear things
and you don't want
to
deal with
that you're not used to hearing or that
and
you don't want to.
The hardest question that you can ever ask yourself is to stand in the mirror and say, who am I?
What were you going to say, Moses?
Yeah, Moses, I'm about to ask you the same thing.
No, I'm going to agree with y'all. Sometimes, like, the chaos does make sense. It is comfortable. But that's something I did. Like I said, everything I'm talking about, I talk about from a personal standpoint. I don't really judge it on other views and everything. I did try to I did try to basically try to something new. And once I saw that I couldn't handle it, like how I'll be treating you, I was like, you know what? I had to separate myself and be like, I didn't want that because I already picked up on the habits of one hurting somebody else, and I didn't want that on my heart at all.
So that's where.
But that's where I said I had to basically go back and fuck it, go back into therapy, sit down and really home in on that and just focus on that, and just so I could be better for myself. But
like
I said, even though sitting down with therapy is like, it's like you said, sometimes you have to sit down with yourself and just be like, yo, what's going on? Like, and try to, like now, before I remember I used to put up boxes. Now I'm actually opening up the boxes.
Wow.
And a lot of times I think we fail to understand that when we allow certain love, right? If we allow that to come in, it will come in and it will do it's going to do what it's going to do because we're allowing it in. But oftentimes we are so used to a familiar hell, like you said earlier, that we don't know how to receive the heaven. We're just like, okay, well, and then sometimes we receive the heaven and then we're just like,
then you go in there and try to bring your little bit of hell up in there.
Yeah, you try to bring a little bit of healing, or
you be trying to burn. You be trying to bring your little horns and pitchfork and shit.
Right.
I don't belong in here.
Or you stick your foot in every now and again to see. You know what I'm saying? You don't even take the heaven seriously. You just like, all right, you still here?
But that's what I'm talking about.
That's what I was gonna say, Ayla, is that a lot of times when you start sabotaging the stuff, it's really what's good for you. It's really what's going to help you. Or it's going to be a better or different experience that's going to help you along the way. Now, it may not necessarily be something that is long term or that is supposed to be like for life. But sometimes we block our lessons and our blessings because we so quick to run from something. And nigga, that was supposed to be the thing that changed your life. This was supposed to propel you 10 steps ahead. But because you got scared, hell nah, I ain't doing this. I don't know why this motherfucker be checking in on me. I don't know why this motherfucker care about me and all of that other kind of stuff. Like, we see
like,
all the time.
It's like, hold on, block. Like, you gonna block? You gonna block?
The
block somebody who
say, let me go and block you because you got me smiling at my phone too much.
Right.
What?
You gonna block me?
Right. Yeah, I'm blocking you because every time your name pop up on the phone, I start smiling. Nah, I ain't great. Do this. No.
I mean, that's. No, I feel like that's kind of insane to do. Like, you know.
I mean, not necessarily block, but it is spaces where people will ghost you, right? You'll get ghosted.
Yeah, I can feel the ghost part.
Yeah, because it's an unfamiliar, like you say, heaven. It makes you feel good, or whatever the case may be, and it's just not sometimes just not fully reciprocated. You know what I mean? And I don't think that people oftentimes who are experiencing that are doing that on purpose. I don't think it's an on purpose thing. Sometimes I think it's just one of those things where you just don't feel like you are. Sometimes we don't feel like we are worthy of that kind of care and that kind of love and that kind of appreciation and admiration. And then, you know, sometimes, and I commend you, right, Moses, for saying I'm gonna go back to therapy, and because I'm not going to bleed on somebody else. Right? Because sometimes we will continuously bleed on people that are trying to constantly patch up our wounds. Yeah. And we're expecting them to just keep patching up the wounds.
Man, I ain't no motherfucking seamstress.
Right, exactly. And it's a difference between me patching, because I know how to sew. It's a difference between
I know how to sew.
It's a difference between me patching up a wound. Yeah, it's a difference between me patching up a wound and you constantly cutting yourself and cutting me in the process. Because there's a difference between the two. Now, if you're trying to continuously get better and do better and build and grow and create and whatever with that person, then as I am patching up wounds, you're patching them up too. You're like, okay, what you're doing the care part, because then when the doctor gives you a prescription, what do you have to do? You have to follow the prescription. So if I follow the prescription and all the care that the doctor is giving me to do, and I do everything I'm supposed to do, I can heal. I can probably heal faster. I can heal better because I am doing the work. But if I continue to just keep falling, keep hurting myself, keep cutting myself over and over and over again, it's not doing anything but creating more chaos, not just within myself, but the person that is trying to continuously doctor me or seam or whatever up.
Because at some point you do got to move in and help with that healing process too. You gotta. I took you to the emergency room. I got you patched up. Now when we leave here, you got to do the work too.
You got to do the work.
I can only bring you so much soup, so much orange juice, and all that, and Band-Aids and all that other stuff, and clean your wound for so much for you. But it's a portion of it that you have to take.
We got to do it together.
You got to do it. I'm letting you know. Like, look, I'm here. I'm gonna hold you up, but you got to stand up too. I can't hold you up by myself because you got to hold yourself up. Because it's gonna be some days where you got to go out and do something where something may trigger you, but you're gonna like, oh no, we did this, so I'm cool when I know how to handle this on my own. So you got to learn how to handle it on your own as well, and not fear that this person is trying to take something from you, because so many people previously you gave it and they took advantage of it. But then how do I decipher that this person not gonna do the same thing again to me?
Yeah,
because
you're not gonna keep bleeding on me. Yeah.
You scared to let the wall down, because then you put yourself out there again, and then here we go again with the same thing. But then with you going to therapy, you'll actually know the discernment between the two.
Yeah, absolutely.
This person really got my back and want to help me take care of this, and they're not doing what they did before. So let me stick with this. But
I can't hold them glasses up no more. I almost saw through that wall.
She be a petty.
Hey, look. You saw into the next room.
Man, I saw across the street. I'm like, what's over there?
I can see the hand.
I saw your neighbors.
Okay, this is a really good question. So Garrett said, how long would you allow someone to grieve before letting them go do to how they grieve? Look, there is no expiration date on grief.
There's no expiration date on grief.
There is no expiration date on grief.
So Trailblazers Radio said we have to be careful of the people we allow in our orbit. That is absolutely true, because a lot of times the people that we do allow in our space are not necessarily meant to be there long term. A lot of us try to hold on to people that are momentary or that should only be there for a moment in time, and then we try to make them lifelong, or we try to make them hold a position that they're not meant to hold. So that's where I've changed my perspective and outlook on the whole idea of applying pressure. I don't want you to apply pressure if I don't like you.
And that's the thing, Leo. That's the whole thing with some people. You don't even know if you like somebody.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't want you like somebody if I don't even know if I like you. If I don't even know if our mindsets are in alignment, why are you applying pressure? We got to have some conversations before you apply pressure. Right. Are we even in alignment for us to be on the same page for you to apply pressure and for me to apply it back? No.
All right, Steph.
What you doing with your life?
Right. But see, look, you know what, Leo? That take me back to last week when we talked about when you told dude, when dude came to you and said, "Hey, I want somebody that always got something to do. And busy, because I'm always busy." Leo,
and then when I aligned
this weekend, I'm gonna be busy,
and he couldn't take it.
Our communication gonna be spotty, and I ain't gonna really. It's not that I'm not gonna answer you. I'm just gonna be busy.
Yeah. So my whole thought process on
busy.
Being in alignment and how we apply pressure to one another is different, because I've decided that I don't want nobody applying pressure to me that I don't truly know or don't have an understanding of where you trying to take this life or your life. Because how the fuck I'm supposed to know that you're going to lead me down the right path? You probably can't see past your front porch. But I'm supposed to trust you with my future. No, sir. Let's have a conversation about that first. Let's see where you're going.
Leave yourself out of a paper bag, and you want me to let you leave?
Period. Okay.
But staying in that paper bag.
But Garrick did ask, he said, how long would y'all allow someone to grieve before letting them go due to how they grieve? Okay. Let me put on my therapist jacket. Okay, jacket on. So
you really got to grab that jacket out every now and again.
For real. Okay, so when we talk about grief, so grief is not a one and done. Okay.
So ain't.
Grief is not a one and done. Grief is not a here today, gone tomorrow kind of thing. Grief is a process. Whether you start that process today, tomorrow, or next year, it is going to have to happen. You are going to have to grieve. So, when it comes to grief, because it's a real thing. And we've talked about it. I think that was last year for
we talked about it last year. Yeah,
we talked about grief. Go check out those episodes on our YouTube channel. Last year in May, we had really great conversations about grief in a lot of different ways. So, but when we talk about grief and being in a relationship while you're grieving, there are several ways to go about grief. And the biggest one, which is the most important thing in a lot of things, is communication. Okay. Now, you can... Okay. Fuck trying to be correct about it. Okay. Because that's really what I'm trying to do. I'm really trying to be correct about it. A lot of times when we're grieving, we are fucked up people. We are in the state of we are in the state of survival mode a lot of times when we are grieving. We truly do not understand how our actions in that space and in that time affect those around us. Okay. So when we are grieving, a lot of times we become people who communicate less, people who reach out less, people who care less, people who don't give a fuck in those spaces, because, and especially depending on what you're grieving. You know what I'm saying? Because there are times where you can grieve a friendship and you really fucked up about that friendship. But if we are talking about grief in the space of death, and depending on who you lost, grief is a really treacherous situation and thing. And so we cannot expect people in our lives to endure how we show up while we're grieving, just because we're grieving. We can't expect people to be in the space of being understanding, caring, loving, always showing up, always taking on what we are piling on, without giving the consideration to that person that this is a person that loves me. This is a person that gives a fuck about me. This is a person that cares about me. Yes, I can grieve. Yes, they understand that I am grieving. Yes, they understand the extent of the grief, but that does not mean they have to endure the bullshit or they have to endure the hurt and pain that I am causing because I am grieving. In relationships, when you're grieving, grief is different because you do have to consider the person that you're with as you're grieving. And that might sound fucked up, but you would want them to do the same. You would want them to consider you. You would want them to think about, okay, well, I am not going to be this way because they're grieving. I'm not going to do these things because they're grieving. I'm not going to show up in this way, or I'm not going to catch an attitude, or I'm not going to spaz out because he spazzed out because I know he's grieving, or I know she's grieving. And so the expectation a lot of time from the person that is grieving is that people are going to understand. People don't necessarily understand, because one thing is very true: if they've never been through it, they cannot understand it. And even if they have, the way you grieve is different than the way somebody else would grieve.
And people don't have to understand it either. It's not a priority. It's not a requirement that somebody understands how you
grieve.
Yeah,
that's not a requirement for anybody.
It's not a requirement, but
that
also
somebody
that's where
to
communication
say, you're
comes
supposed
in.
to understand that
No,
right,
no, but that's where the communication factor comes in. If I am grieving, if I am in a down space, and you know that I'm in a down space, yeah, I know that I know that you're grieving. I know that you're in a tough spot right now. But I don't necessarily know how to care for you while you're grieving. So I need you to tell me. I need you to tell me what you need, how I can show up, how I can be present for you.
Yeah.
Because sometimes being present for you means I just come over and we just sit there. Being present for you means maybe I just bring you some food and I don't be over there at all. Maybe that just means that I call to check in on you, or I come over or I get you out of the house to go do something.
Right. You know, also somebody just asked me that very question today. With the back issue. Because it's been a struggle for the last couple of days. Well, how can I help you through this? And I had to pause for a minute and say, I really can't answer that right now. Give me a minute. Because I can't answer you right now.
Yeah.
I can't answer you.
That's what it is. A lot of times we don't know how to communicate what we need in certain spaces. We don't. Sometimes y'all be asking me, well, let me know what you need, or if you need anything.
Right. And then you had that conversation. You was like, Nisha, I don't even know what to tell you.
She don't be knowing. She don't be knowing. And then I sit there and I talk to her and I hear everything she's saying, and I be like, okay, so you want me to do this? Well, you know what?
Because sometimes, like the very last time that I took a real extended, like a real deal off day, and I literally did nothing, I was like, you know what? In order for me not to do nothing, somebody can send me some fucking food. In order for me not to do completely nothing,
when they sent you the wrong food, pissed me off.
Huh?
And they sent you the wrong food, wasn't it?
Yeah. That was a whole debacle, but I actually ended up getting my right food.
Okay.
But in that grief process, we do have to be mindful of how we show up. Now, that's not to say that your grief isn't valid. That's not to say that how you deal with grief isn't valid. But if I am your woman, or this is your man, you do have to be mindful of how you treat that person if you want them to be there as you go through this grief. Now, you're not going to talk to me crazy. You're not just going to disregard my heart, my feelings, or you're not going to
Why would that middle finger?
I put my fingers down.
The middle finger.
And you're not going to disregard my grief either, because what we don't recognize is that grief is an ever going
thing.
It's an ever going on thing.
Yeah. So I might not be in a sad space or place right now. That don't mean I'm not still grieving. My grief has I've grown, so the way that I grieve is a little different. But I think a lot of times people just expect somebody to be there when we don't communicate, we don't give consideration, we don't give care, we don't it's a lot of things that
don't
we
show
don't
up
in those spaces, and we don't show up, we don't speak up, we don't show appreciation for we don't show appreciation for those people that show up for us in those spaces. And that's a problem too. So,
I mean, because it's understandable that sometimes in grief, after a while or doing grief, you just don't have the capacity. You know what I mean? And that's understandable. You don't have the capacity. But then it's like, as long as you don't have the capacity and somebody is and you are in a relationship with somebody, how long do they continue to try to help you through something that either you're pushing them away from, you're not allowing them to, or you're just giving them bits and pieces of yourself? After a while, it becomes like this situation where it's like, damn if I do, damn if I don't type of thing. So if I'm sitting over here and it's like, not only do I have to deal with my everyday stuff, and I got to deal with all of this, or you have to deal with all your stuff and your everyday things. And then here I am, and I'm grieving, and you are over here in pain. I don't even have the capacity to be there for you, because now I'm so stuck in my grief that whatever you're dealing with, whatever you're going through, it just seems like it's nothing compared to the grief that I'm feeling right now. So now it's like, when we're supposed to show up for each other, I can't show up for you at all in those space, because my grief means it's so much. But I'm gonna say this: today we make 4 years that my dad passed away. When my dad passed away, it was a bittersweet situation for me, because I got the call about my dad passing away, and then I got the call that my nephew was born. It was like simultaneously that day. It was the weirdest day ever. I was in a lot of pain. I was hurting. I was also joyful that my nephew was born, but I was in pain. At that moment, all I really felt like I wanted at that time, because at that time I was in a relationship, and I just wanted my person. But that's me, right? I didn't want to push my person away. I didn't want them not to be around me. I wanted their energy and their space, because I needed to feel love, and I needed to feel cared for, and I just needed to know, I needed to be in a space where I knew I was safe, right? And that wasn't necessarily provided. And so I know for me, I'm always provided. That same person, they ended up losing their grandmother. And I tried to provide the space for them that they didn't necessarily provide for me. And instead of them receiving it, they pushed me away. They shut me out. They cheated on me. And all of this stuff was happening. And the excuse was, oh, I'm grieving. Or I'm in pain.
That's what I was going. Yes, ma'am.
You
That
know
was
what I'm
going to be my
saying?
next point, is that we make a lot of excuses, or we say a lot of things that are caused by grief. No, you're really an asshole, and you're trying to use grief as the excuse for you to be able to show up in this way, or to not show up in this way. So there is no, to answer the question, there is no time frame on somebody's grief. So like, there's no, okay, I'm gonna give you 6 months. No. Cause fuck you for trying to give me 6 months when I'm grieving. But
there ain't no time frame for that.
No, there isn't a time frame. But how you show up and what you do in that space of you grieving, and how you treat me in that space, will determine if I will be present, or if I choose to stay in this relationship, or in this space with you while you grieve. Because I don't have to take abuse while you grieving. The fuck I look like, you know what I'm saying? I don't have to be abused or misused or mistreated, because all in the name of you're grieving. No, that's not how that works.
I mean, because at that point, the person can pretty much just like, hey, this not working, because I understand you grieving, but you also mistreating me too. And I'm not going to sit here and let you mistreat me, because you using, for lack of a better words, grieving as an excuse.
As an excuse.
Not an excuse.
Yeah, for you not to show up.
Treat somebody.
Yeah, that's like I always say, that people use the phrase "life is life" and as a convenient excuse for a reason to not show up, not be present, not reach out, not give care, not give concern. Like, a lot of us use things that we know will result in compassion from somebody else. Oh, my bad, I didn't mean to treat you that way. I was grieving. Okay, but that still doesn't mean we have to reconnect. That still doesn't mean that we have to get back together or nothing. Like, I can respect the fact that you were grieving, and I can respect the fact that you had a lot going on, but I'm good, because the next thing that may happen may cause you to act the same way. So I'm good on that. We good. I'm good. I'm gone. So that's that's another option as well. But Trailblazers Radio said, Oh, he said grief is a process. It is a road we have to travel on when we lose a loved one or lose a loved one, whether we like it or not. But he asked that question and we answered it. No, it should be a consideration. And he said, it's funny that y'all are talking about this. I lost my son in July of 2015, and my ex-wife lost her father 2 months later. I had to put my process aside to help her push through. And it left me barren because she did not have the capacity to help me through my process.
Wow, same thing that Ayla was just talking about. Wow.
Yep.
We got to be mindful, like,
and I get it. And the only reason I can speak about grief in the way that I do is because June, it'll be 10 years that my mom has gone. And then January, it'll be 10 years that my best friend passed. Between June of 2015 and January of 2016, I lost like 4 or 5 different people in my life during that time frame. Like pertinent people. My uncle, my daddy's brother, you know what I'm saying? My mama, my cousin's wife, then my best friend. So it was a lot. And so the only reason that I can speak about grief in that way, or to the extent that I do, is because I had to deal with it back to back to back to back to back. And then try to figure out what my life was to look like after losing my mother. And I also speak about it in the way that I do because I know that I was not I wasn't the best person when it came to losing my mama and grieving and going through all of that. I literally was like, fuck it all. Cause my mama not here no more. So why? Fuck it all. But also, I'm still here. And apparently I couldn't just say fuck it all or fuck everybody. So when you go through those spaces, you do have to learn or be mindful of how you show up. Now, you might not care in the beginning because it is hard in the beginning. It is rough in the beginning because it is literally you are living in a cognitive dissonance at that point in time in your life. And so you really be like, I don't know what the fuck I am, who this is, what's going on. Yeah. But I also could not expect the people in my life to show up for me if I wasn't willing to show up for them. You know, I think we truly discount our ability to be present even while grieving. We count ourselves out so much because, I was grieving, but so were my siblings. So I had to also be present for them. You know what I'm saying? So were my nephews. That was their grandmother. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times we use a lot of excuses to not show up, to not be present. And I'm not saying grieving is an excuse. So let me clarify that for y'all. I be like, but I was grieving. I'm not saying grieving is an excuse. I'm saying that we often use that as a way to excuse our behaviors in that time frame. And nobody has to excuse a behavior that treats us less than what we actually are. So, that was a long ass answer to that question. And we had to take the long route. But hopefully that gave you the answer that you were looking for, because nobody has to give you a specific time frame, but also nobody has to be present while you treat them like shit or don't give care and consideration for that person. And that goes for any kind of grief. Like, even if you grieving your best friend and she still live up the street, okay, well, listen, you're not finna treat me like shit. You'll be missing another friend.
And then we can also flip that, and that's grieving a relationship, or the loss of a relationship, or what you thought something was going to be, and you're taking it out on the people around you. You know what I mean? Taking it out on your children, or taking it out on your friends and your family, because, what you expected or what you thought was going to be in a situation with somebody didn't end up that way. So now you have to grieve losing them.
Yep, you got to grieve what you thought was going to be.
Yeah.
Yep. And some of us, that takes years for that process to even come to a realization that you are still grieving something because you thought it was going to be something else. So, Trailblazers Radio said, but I think the most important thing that I learned during the process is how to show up for myself, even when people would not show up for me. Come on, talk about it, sir. Talk about it. We have to show up for ourselves first before we can show up for other people. How can we be present for others if we are not present for ourselves? Absolutely. And sometimes we forget the point of community is to help us to get to that point that we can be present for ourselves in order to be present for other people. Because community matters. I swear to y'all, I would still be a fucking wreck if it wasn't for my siblings, if it wasn't for the people that was around me, if it wasn't for friends and all of that kind of stuff, I would still be a fucking wreck. Okay? And if I went in therapy for 6 years, okay? I ain't gonna hold you. But it literally took for me to have a mental breakdown to know that I was grieving. To know that everything that I was dealing with was grief.
And sometimes that's what God has to do, is to knock you all the way down for you to pause a moment and say, hey, it is something wrong with me.
It is.
And I got to deal with this. So in that essence, it was pretty much, well, God paused you for a minute and took you out of your right mind to put you in your wrong mind, so you can see that there's something wrong with me. But all this time, I'm mad at the whole world and everybody else when I'm the common denominator.
You know what's crazy about what you just said? Well, my pastor literally just spoke on this about a week or so ago, and he was saying how grief, there's a lesson in grief too.
Very much.
There's a lesson in grief too, because grief can do one of two things. Grief can show us the worst of ourselves. We can bring out the best of ourselves.
Yep.
It's one or the other, and it's completely up to us to make the transition. I choose in my group, because I lost a lot of people. You know, I just recently lost my cousin, and it was scary because, you know, she passed. She passed in a car accident, and I just had one. You know what I mean? So it was like, and just looking at the transition of all of that, and how, you know, it just did something to my mental, right? But it's just kind of understanding that even in the midst of grief, right? It's nothing but love. I saw this before, and I keep it. It's love transcended, right? It hasn't. The person hasn't necessarily the spiritual. I mean, the body of the person has left, but the spirit of the person hasn't. The memories of the person hasn't. They're still with you. They're still within you. Still got the pictures. You got all of that other stuff. And I would rather celebrate the life that they had than to mourn the life that they no longer have.
Because see, I guess people really don't. There is no time limit on it, and I say that speaking from experience. My birthday is May 28th. My little brother's birthday is May 20th. On May 20th, it will be 31 years that I have had to celebrate a birthday for him without him. And with me, would it just being the two of us? I tell everybody, I never thought that I would have the life without him, and to watch my mother get older without him. So the grief thing never really stops. It is never, we learn to live with it. And that's what I tell people. I've learned to live with it, but I'm not going to tell you that every day is okay. Because at any given moment, at any moment in time, and it happened to me Sunday morning, getting ready to go do a vending spot. It happened. I had a whole freaking meltdown for like an hour. A whole freaking meltdown, like an hour. it does not stop. And stop putting limitations and saying to people, well, you should be over that by now. Who the hell are you to tell me to be over somebody or something? You can go sit your ass on a cactus for real.
Not to go.
Stop telling people that you should be over that.
Anisha,
huh?
You sounded like somebody old ass grandma with that.
Don't tell nobody that you should be over that by now. How dare you tell anybody? And here's the thing. When somebody passes away, this is the one question that I hate for people to ask people. Well, what happened?
Feeling does hurt.
Yeah.
Why does it make a difference? What happened?
They not here no more.
They're not here no more. Why would you ask somebody that?
Shoot, I was at work listening to. I was at work listening to music, and then I always try to block this day out, and I blocked it, and then I got a text about my cousin's my nephew's birthday, which reminded me of my dad's passing, and I was just sitting at my desk just working, just tears. And then I was like, okay, what am I going to do today? And I went, and when I got off of work, took my butt to Walmart, and I got me some ice cream. And I'm like, I'm gonna eat me some ice cream, and I'm gonna deal with this, later. I'm probably gonna cry again. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
And it's okay.
And it's okay. It's okay. And I think that's the part that sometimes when we're going through grief, it's one of the hardest things to really just be like, it's okay. It is okay to grieve. And then it's okay to be happy after the grief.
Yeah. I think for me, trying to figure out what I feel is usually the hard part, or how to navigate those spaces. Like, do I talk about it? Do I create content? Do I write? What do I do in this space? Because sometimes spirit reminds you of certain things. And so, what was the end of April? 26th, I think, to be exact, was the day my mom went into the hospital. She was in the hospital 43 days before she passed and never came back home. And so on the 26th, I'm at the store randomly, okay, at the grocery store. I'm like, oh, I want some apple butter. 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 I'm like, girl, you 2 hours away from home. You get some apple butter when you go home. I was gung-ho about finding this apple butter in this store and taking it back home. And so I got it, drove back home, all of that kind of stuff, and then had a conversation with my siblings. And come to find out, that was the day. My mama absolutely loved apple butter. Okay. You couldn't give her like a biscuit, some toast, something with some apple butter in her coffee. She was set. And so I've been not necessarily conflicted, but also just, I'm not sad, but I'm also not happy. You know what I'm saying? But it's also in the space of realizing like I really had come to the realization of how we had to come together to make that happen. We had just moved here. We had just moved here in October, and April she was in the hospital. In June she was gone. And so I'm like, we weren't even here a whole year. And so really trying to understand the space that I am in now. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to understand the space that I'm in. Like I said, I'm not sad, but I'm not happy, but also like I miss her, but it's this and it's that. So it's a whole lot of feelings and a whole lot of thoughts, and I don't know how to process it. And that's hard for me. So grief can be funky. Hell, grieving your former self after grief is even funkier, because you thought that there were things that you were going to experience or be or do or plan or be a part of that you weren't able to because of grief or because of the way life shifted because of the grief. So yeah. We didn't really get back to the petty, but I'm glad we over here doing some healing.
We're right. We're doing some, because here's at the end of the day, and
we're doing some healing.
I said what I said because May 20th will be 31 years that my little brother has been gone. And the day before, I got to go lay on the table to get my back fixed.
And he's going to be right there with you.
And my mama said, why did you pick that day? And I said, because the next day is his birthday. So I know that I'm cool. And this thing has been bothering me until they called and said, Anisha, well, it's May 19th. Is that okay? And before I knew it, it just came out absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got off the phone with her, I cried uncontrollably. And I was in the freaking airport.
Mm-hmm.
And I cried, and I'm like, this is the signal that I needed just to say, it is well.
And it's gonna be, honey.
And it's gonna be well. And it was the signal that I needed for my little brother to say, go on, do what you gotta do, sis. I got you. We good.
Mm-hmm.
Really? So there is no expiration date on this thing called grief. Because at any moment, at any time, it could pop up out of nowhere. You could be perfectly fine, not even thinking about the person or the situation or the relationship. And there it is, smacking you dead in your face.
Absolutely.
So never give anybody an expiration date or a time to stop grieving, but also be mindful of how you treat people in the midst of your grief, because they don't have to accept being mistreated by you.
Hell no.
They don't have to accept that. And they don't have to stick around to keep dealing with it. And it's not that they're leaving you and you want to throw that, well, you leaving me and I'm grieving, but you also mistreating people.
Mm-hmm.
Be mindful that yes, your feelings are hurt, but now you hurting somebody else's feelings. So you have to be mindful of how you move in that grief too.
Absolutely. I do have some petty videos though before we go.
Let's see.
I got a few petty.
Let's see.
Little chuckles, to lighten the mood.
Let's see.
And my screen went away.
I will pray for you, but if you get on my nerve, I will cuss you smooth out. My mouth ain't under control yet, and I can throw these hands. And let me tell you something, if I get my hands on you, I promise you, you're going to know you've been in a fight. But I'm trying not to go there because I'm in transition.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's it.
I keep telling y'all, stop playing with me when I'm in transition.
Woo! Stop playing with people when they in transition. That's the worst.
Because I'll fight you, bro.
And they working on getting better and doing better for themselves, but you pushing them back into that space where, and I tell everybody, I still got a cup full left. Please don't make me use it.
We got a couple more, then we out.
I'm the type of person that as soon as the vibe shifts, so do I. Right in the reverse, okay? And I'm talking that old stick shift reverse too, that skr, okay? I just don't do well with bad vibes, so I'm actually doing you a favor by getting on out of there, because you don't want the other side. I'm healing, not healed.
I'm healing, not healed.
And that is a difference. There is a difference.
And I think this is the last one.
Oh, let's go. Yes. Oh, yeah. Father God, I just pray healing over them, Lord, that they're okay, Father.
That joy be petty as hell when you know somebody that going through some shit that they deserve. Yes. Okay, but God for real.
Right, but God for real. Make sure they cover them and make sure it's straight.
Cause what? But thank y'all so much for tuning in. Thank y'all so much for the vulnerability and the space that y'all entered with us on this evening. We talked about petty, but we also talked a whole lot about healing and a whole lot about making sure that as we are going through our healing, that we are treating the people that are there along that journey with care, consideration, and concern. Okay. We can't be out here expecting people to give a fuck about us, and we out here acting like we don't give a fuck about them. Okay, okay, all right. You know we gotta be mindful. Be mindful, but also join us because we're gonna come back tomorrow. Tomorrow we are having a special edition episode with none other than Prince Razi. Razi is one of the PGC fam. He is one of our fan favorites. He is coming to talk with us tomorrow about his new single, Hand. Y'all can find it on all music streaming platforms. I found mine on Apple Music. Okay. So make sure you go check out the song and then come have a conversation with us tomorrow with none other than Prince Razi. He's been here a time or two, and I think the last time was about a year or two ago. So come on, he's coming back, kicking it with the fam. So y'all come up in this thing and join us as we talk with Prince Razi on tomorrow. And then the aunties come back next week, not this week, but next week. The aunties come back, and baby, it's gonna be a little spicy up in this thing. Okay. We are talking. Is it good D or just dopamine? Okay. The science behind love, behind sex, love, and attachment. Okay.
Wow.
It's a different kind of conversation that we have it on PGC After Dark when it comes to mental health awareness, because dopamine or good D is about your mental health. Okay. Because if it's good D and the dopamine is kicking in, we might be out here crashing out in the end. So we gonna talk about that with the Crazy Rich Aunties. We come back next week. Y'all know we do 3 Fridays out the month, so we'll be back next week, not this week. All right. Once again, we want to thank those of you all for tuning in. We want to thank Sarkarigan's Media Group for allowing us to stream on their platform. Make sure you guys check out Confiance, the Experience Fashion Show, coming next month, June 21st. In Huntsville, Alabama. Go to fullfigurefierce.org to get your tickets and all of that good stuff. Make sure you go check out all of the past episodes of PGC Tuesday and PGC After Dark. But also, we got great stuff coming down the pipeline. Your girl, I be doing stuff, okay? And so does all of our peoples on here. And Doc got something coming down the pipeline too. So y'all get ready, all right?
Is he throwing gang signs up? What kind of Dr. Gang sign was that?
I said peace.
He said
I thought
peace.
he throwing gang sign. Oh.
Yeah.
You the only one over there thinking it's a gang sign.
What kind of Doc gang sign is that?
But we want to thank y'all for tuning in to the Fat Girl Chronicles. Make sure y'all catch us next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Okay. Next week, let me make sure I got it correct, because we did. This week was, and can we give it up for the picture? Okay. Can we give it up for the middle finger? Okay. Because I'm petty, but I'm also healing.
He was asked to take that trash out.
Listen, make sure you take it out. And next week, it is healing, but make it hood. Okay. Talking about unconventional mental health practices from the culture. All right. So make sure y'all tune in next week. We getting ready to get up out of this thing. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all for everything you do, every way that you show up. Make sure you share with your peoples, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, whatever floats your boat or helps you find your lost remote. Make sure you share the Fat Girl Chronicles in every way possible. Okay? And shut up, y'all.
What? Whatever floats your boat.
Y'all don't know that's from a song?
Oh, man.
Y'all know I be quoting songs and random conversations.
Hard like that, but helps you find your lost remote.
Yeah, whatever floats your boat or find your lost remote. That's what he say. But next week, join us. But we up out of this thing, y'all. We appreciate y'all for tuning in and riding it out with us for another 35 minutes. But go ahead and get yourself rested and prepared to come back tomorrow. And then on Thursday, okay, for Thursday Night Live with Sarkarian's Media Group. And then next week, it'll be Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. All right? We up out of this thing. We love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Catch us next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And Thursday, 8:15-ish for Thursday Night Live. Don't forget, whatever you do for the rest of the evening and the rest of the week, y'all, don't do it with your half ass. Do it with your whole ass. We about this thing. We love and appreciate y'all. Have a good evening. Peace.
You gotta do it with your whole ass.